Hey y'all, this is Brita for the Happier Attorney, where we talk about flat fees and mindset. And this is the last video before the Happier Attorney program ends enrollment. Period. Forever. It ends February 27th. The link is below for those who want to join. So this video, I'm going to be talking about indecision, why we have such a hard time making decisions, especially as attorneys, and what the cost is. Now, certainly I hope that plenty of you take advantage of this last opportunity to learn flat fees the best and safest way. But more importantly, I would invite you to take this opportunity to just decide. And yes or no. But to recognize, not only in the context of learning flat fees, but in every aspect of our life. You know, we attorneys, most people don't like change. We attorneys hate change. Our whole gig is about no change, keeping the status quo. And people, even when they know it's best for them to change or to make a change, they're not going to do it until the discomfort of where they are exceeds the discomfort of making a change. I get that. The problem is that we lie to ourselves about the discomfort and the pain of where we are. We lie to ourselves about how bad it actually is, or how bad the discomfort of the change is going to be. Many times we don't even know. And we minimize the damage and we minimize the effect. So we think that not making a decision is neutral. It's not. You're deciding when you're saying, oh, I'll decide later. No, you're deciding now. It's not passive, and you are choosing to maintain the status quo at the status quo cost, when a lot of times you don't even know what that is. And we're smart people, and we are able to justify anything, especially to ourselves. So how do we justify staying put? We justify it by, I need more research. I just need more information. No, you don't. I need one more year. Now's not a good time. I have too much going on. Yeah, you have too much going on because you keep putting off decisions like this. After this case settles, now, if you have your first Supreme Court argument next week, okay, fine. But then calendar when you're going to do this. Because someday is not a day of the week. If you don't put it on your calendar, if you don't prioritize it, it's not going to happen. It's just not. And I can tell you, so many times we make something such a bigger deal than it actually is. Even me, even recently, I had an issue in my life that had haunted me for literally decades. And I had tried all of these Band-Aid things because I didn't want to do the deep work. I said I did, but I didn't. And so I tried this easy solution and this easy solution, none of which worked, of course. None of which worked. And I was scared. I was scared that I wouldn't be able to do it. And if I really tried and then I didn't do it, then I would have confirmation that something was really wrong with me. That's the truth of it. And when I finally, was like, okay, either I truly do what needs to be done here, or I live this way the rest of my life. Make a choice. Well, I couldn't choose live this way the rest of my life. I couldn't do that. I loved myself enough to be no. So I really admitted some hard things to myself, and I was like, okay, I'm going to do what needs to be done. And to my shock, it was a lot easier than I had ever dreamed it was going to be. Almost embarrassingly so. I had made this into such a big deal, it wasn't even funny. Now, I had to clear some things away in my life so that I could focus on it, especially, for the first couple of weeks, the first month. I couldn't have 1,001 things going on in my life like normal, which is fine. That was pretty easy to do. But it wasn't that hard. It wasn't half as hard as what I was making it out to be. And holy cow, my only regret is like, oh my gosh, why didn't I do this years ago? Decades ago. Which that's not helpful either, because sometimes you just need time to cheat you. But I kept fooling myself. It wasn't half as hard as I thought it was going to be. And when we continue to tell ourselves it's going to be that big of a deal, or I'll do it later, or, whatever, the compound effect of that is huge. The fear keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. The fear monster keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And the results of what you're doing keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. They really start to hurt. You under earning to the tune of $250,000 a year, that starts adding up. When you're now in your mid 50s and you're still in debt, that starts to hurt. And I've been practicing since 1997. And so I've had the privilege of seeing a lot of attorneys ahead of me. And I've had those conversations with the attorneys who are still working at 83 to pay the bills. The attorney who is 70 who's living on only Social Security because there wasn't, quote, money to save. I don't want that to be you. We think we have time. Every month that goes by, you have less time, and it will catch up to you. I promise you, it will catch up to you. We think, oh, another night working, our family can absorb it. Those decisions will come back to you. I promise you that. What also happens when you get clear on what you want is your focus automatically goes to it. Your energy shifts. And miracles start happening. Magic starts happening. But only when you're clear. When you're going back and forth, it's like your focus doesn't know where to go. Your energy doesn't know what to do. So my invitation to you, at this point, you certainly have enough information. This is all the information you actually need. You have the Happier Attorney. You have Dumping the Billable Hour by Mark Chin. You have Value Pricing by Ron Baker. You have thousands and thousands of other attorneys using flat fees. You don't need more information. You don't need to know more about the ethics. You just need to decide. You live this way for the rest of your career, which if you're happy, fine. If you're happy, fine. But if you're not, decide once and for all. You'll figure it out. You'll figure it out. And, this is your last chance to have help figuring it out. But even if you don't take me up on that, or you're watching this video and it's after the date, you can do this. You read the books. You're smart. This is not rocket science. Flat fees they are not rocket science. This is how we buy everything every day. I didn't have help. Mark didn't have help. Like one attorney who has used flat fees for decades in family law, Regina, she's very vocal about it. She said she didn't have any help. She said, I knew I couldn't do hourly and I was going to stick with this till I figured it out. And she did. This is possible. And you have resources to help you. But you have to decide. But the indecision, stop wasting your life with that. Stop wasting your life with that, okay? You're going to feel a little fear and you move forward anyway. But decide. Okay? So, thank you. I'm going to do one more video to tell you about what I'm doing next. But you have till tomorrow to get into the program if you want to. Okay? Otherwise, you got the book and you got Dumping the Billable Hour by Mark Chin and Value Pricing by Ron Baker. Okay? Take care.